Hey everybody, welcome back to the Shacknews live stream here at E3 2019 Day 1, brought to you by HyperX. I am your host, long reads editor at Shacknews, David L. Craddock, and I am once again at the E3 Esports Zone, brought to you by Said Nation. I'm joined today by a special guest, Ken from Massive Damage.
Hi there.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely, it's our pleasure. So tell us a little bit about Star Renegades. I think you're going to give us a presentation here.
Star Renegades is a kind of a mashup of turn-based JRPG and with a lot of modern roguelike elements to it.
Sure, excellent. So what is this? I don't know if it's a vertical slice you brought exactly, but what is the demo that you're going to play today?
So yeah, we have basically a combat and exploration demo. Yeah, that's what we'll be showing at the Microsoft Theater.
Excellent, excellent. So how did this game get started? What was the initial idea for it?
Sorry?
Oh, sure, no problem. How did the game get started? What was the initial concept for it?
I think we wanted to create something that kind of encapsulated the ideal JRPG experience, which tend to be very long narratives. And we wanted to do something a little different that would still give you that feeling of playing a good JRPG, but having it be in much more playable chunks.
Sure.
Kind of like how a lot of the modern roguelike games kind of let you do that, where you can get a really good amount of gameplay within like the 20 minutes, half hour mark. And we're trying to do something a little different by kind of mashing that up with JRPG concepts.
That's excellent. Since we've set the stage, why don't we jump right in?
Okay, we'll just start playing here. This little robot character is kind of a sarcastic helper robot from on the rebel side. Mm-hmm. So he's just kind of explaining a few things that we need to do.
I love the art style.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have one artist who's just been going a little crazy with the pixel art. He's amazing. So I just picked up a few items. I'm gonna go ahead and equip some of them for my team here. There we go. So I'm going to go into a combat here.
Sure.
One interesting thing about our combat is what we call deterministic. So you'll see here that the enemy has already declared what he's going to be doing. So he's going to use an immolate attack on one of our characters at the far back rank. And by showing you exactly what is going to happen, now it's up to you to use that information to make the best play. Mm-hmm. And some people who have played Slay the Spire may have seen something similar to this. And we're also taking some cues from games like Grandia, Chrono Trigger as well. Just back to the graphics a little bit, our artist actually drew about 450 frames of hand-drawn animation just for that boss character you see on the right. So that's kind of how serious we're taking the animation and the pixel art in this game.
Sure, and I noticed even the perspective. I think JRPG fans and roguelike fans will feel right at home. You have that over-the-head perspective that roguelike players are familiar with, and in this we have the classic kind of profile shot for the turn-based battles.
So because he's going to be attacking that one character, I can use this character who's kind of a tank, Wind Scyphex. She can bodyguard the guy who's about to be attacked. And then this guy here, he's kind of our trickster. He can actually interrupt this guy's attack because he has a special trick shot, which you'll see here. So you'll say he's interrupted. You see he's actually moved right off the timeline at the bottom. So he's no longer actually going to be shooting anything at us. And I just wasted a defend actually. Now that I feel. So even after I play this game like a million times, I still make mistakes, and I think that's kind of what's interesting for people. Like, all the information is laid out there. It's up to you to make the call. So now he's going to do like an AOE attack, and I think we'll just go ahead and just do an all-out attack. There's not much we can do about his attack right now. We need a power cord for the laptop.
Oh yeah, can we get a power cord for the laptop, guys? In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, I would just kind of wanted to ask.
We can talk a little bit about the game.
Sure,
a bit more.
Absolutely. So I really like I think what brings me to JRPGs is the battle system. I love the system design. How did you kind of merge that with roguelike elements?
Yeah, actually, like to really talk about that because a lot of people do ask, like, does it seem like two genres that blend together? What we're trying to do is create a kind of a rebellion cycle. So not unlike a very popular movie series, there's just this idea of a constant back and forth between the rebels and the authoritarian empire. In our game, it's called the Imperium. And we'll actually have a way, whether you win or lose your current run, it actually moves time forward, and that changes both the rebels as well as the enemies. So we have a adversary system, a little bit like a nemesis system, where it tracks all the bosses and sub-bosses, and some of them die over time, and some of them will grow up in rank. We even have a way for some of the player characters to accidentally get, well, not accidentally, but get converted to the dark side, where they become your enemy, and they are no longer playable while they're the enemy until you can somehow get them back.
That's
so
interesting.
There's this permanence across all the playthroughs, where one run is just basically one rebellion attempt out of many. So there's also rebel base upgrades, and we have a camaraderie system that will let the players basically form bonds at the highest level. For certain characters, they can unlock progeny, new characters that are basically children of the other two characters that have bonded.
Excellent, excellent. So I think the laptop has been plugged in, ready to go. We have an on-screen prompt here, though. If someone could click that
We have
off.
nobody that can help find the power cord?
Yeah.
Well, this is the best looking screen that we have in this combat. With the Titan in the background. So
yeah, that's
not
true.
the worst screen to be frozen on.
No, that's very true. Well, if we could get someone out here, there's a prompt on the screen. I think we need someone to click it or Alt-Tab back to the game. But I wonder, as you were designing this, did you find that there was much crossover with roguelike and JRPG turn-based games, or did you find that there was a push and pull at times?
I think for us, we had to kind of get a little bit creative and try to find what are the essence of JRPGs that people enjoy. And I think through the systems like the camaraderie system and the adversary system, it basically allows the players to kind of come up with their own narrative as they're playing, because they're making the choices as to who's going to befriend each other. They're making the choices of how they're dealing with the various enemies coming up and which missions they choose. A mission cycle basically starts with you choosing one of two or three planets to, I guess, move the rebellion forward. And a little bit like FTL, where after each successful mission, you will then get another choice as to how you want to move forward with your next objective, until you finally get to the Imperium Overlord and you try to take them down.
Okay, excellent. Well, I know we're running a little short on time, so I might just ask you another question or two
Sure.
to wrap up. It's an interesting system design, because I know that in roguelikes it's all about the player character guiding the story, whereas JRPGs often you participate in the story. So I kind of like that you're walking that line there.
Well, with the camaraderie system, what's great about that is because that is permanent across all the playthroughs. So if you have two characters that have bonded and are now, they've created an offspring, that's permanent across, no matter how many times you play, that will always be that case. And same for, weapons upgrades, rebel base upgrades, and even on the adversary side, who you've killed, who you let get away, that all has a permanence that is, run throughout every time you play. A little bit like Shadow of Mordor, where you can run into like your this guy that keeps bugging you, and until you are able to take him down, it's going to be something that it's your own little narrative that gets formed upon doing that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming on. When will the game be available?
Sorry?
When will the game be available?
We're aiming for spring 2020.
Excellent.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to build, a lot of content.
All right. Well, Ken, thank you very much for coming by today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I enjoyed the discussion. I apologize for the technical issues.
No.
Excellent. Well, this has been a Shacknews E3 live stream with HyperX and SubNation. I'm David L. Craddock, your host. We will be back with you tomorrow with more live stream interviews from the E3 show floor. If you like this content, please go to shacknews.com. Check out our Mercury subscription, starting as low as $1 a month for content like this. Enjoy the rest of the show.